fossils were found, one in 1829 and the other in 1848. Back then, they thought it was part of the evolving modern human species, Homo sapiens. Years later, in 1856, another similar fossil was discovered in Neander Valley of Germany. And then we finally realized that these three fossils belong to the same species, which could have been humans, Neanderthals. But they obviously didn't succeed because of climate change and more drastically, us. Neanderthals are the closest ancient relatives to the existing modern humans. They had a large nose and a more receding forehead. Actually, they had all it took and were more advanced than us in some fields that they must have won over us for survival. What really sets a species further in evolution and survival is the ability to exploit nature and control it for survival. Neanderthals were exceptional and early at doing that. They mastered fire. From there came more sophisticated tools for survival. They were found to be ruthless hunters and adaptive when it came to food choices. It was the time when nature was on their side of evolution. Scientists identified plaques of starch stain on their teeth. This meant Neanderthals ate plants. In the meantime, their bones had overall and frequent injuries, similar to that of a professional rodeo rider who interacts with large and dangerous animals. Their left and right arms were asymmetrical, suggesting they used thrusting actions more than throwing. Out of all this, naturally, we could prove that Neanderthals were combating large animals at a close range frequently, and their structure was enough to tell meat was their primary meal. Therefore, they were fast, strong, highly skilled, and most importantly, brave. Our close ancient relatives had a larger brain, but in proportion with their body size. This means they were equally capable and intelligent like us, humans. We are not sure if they communicated by speaking. They had similar vocal anatomy and range of hearing to ours, though there was no evidence to prove it directly. Their complex social life made us assume they must have had languages. The most shocking case is that the places believed to be Neanderthals' ancient homes had graves marked with offerings like flowers. It's more significant than we think because they were the first of our genus to have marked the graves of the buried people. And that is not a light thing in the time of primates. It's simply remarkable because it reflected their social and passionate behaviors. For an evolving species, it's quite an advanced lifestyle. In the meantime, it also meant that these Neanderthals had the ability to look after and know more about the people around them. Some also believed, through their ornaments and lifestyle, these ancient were to be humans may have followed religions too. Clearly, it indicates these people were more of accomplished humans than ape men, probably even before Homo sapiens were at that stage. But if they were so much capable, why did they go extinct after all? Before we could go any further, head on to our channel to find more interesting videos. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so that you won't miss any of our videos. Climate change is assumed to be one of the reasons for the extinction of Neanderthals. There were weather surges believed to have played parts in wiping off the descendants of our common ancestors. They got used to changing the home locations according to the climate and the dangers surrounding them. It was why they had large noses and shorter limbs so that they can survive the cold weathers, and it gifted them a little bit more physical strength and speed, when in warmer regions too. It means they were still surviving the climate changes quite well. However, it all changed when African humans migrated to Eurasia. When the so called modern humans came to share regions with Neanderthals, they became competitors to each other. Since the Neanderthals were smaller in numbers, they started losing their resources to the newcomers, who were larger in numbers and also slightly more prone to change. Although there has been crossbreeding between these two ancient human species, scientists say that these two species intersected very little during this period. Still, the inbreeding within the Neanderthals that has continued for so many years now made things worse. Biological incompatibility is well noticed when crossbreeding occurs among relative mammal species. The case was the same for Homo sapiens and Neanderthals. Their crossbreeding ended up producing infertile bloodline, and it was a huge problem for Neanderthals who were at the brink of extinction. Genetically, they started to have lesser resistance to harsh diseases. Like I said before, we were among the primary causes for their extinction. It was time when Charles Darwin's statement stood still. The species that survives is the one that is more responsive towards change. When people spread out from Africa, they brought along new killer diseases. Since Neanderthals were outnumbered and less capable to develop immunity towards these outbreaks, the modern humans survived, and the primate humans were wiped off. However, scientists say that we still carry the genes of Neanderthals, which is claimed to be the reason for dark and light skin tones, as well as our hair variations. Since we won over them, nature chose us to carry them within us. That's all we have for today, guys. Hope to see you in our next video from Quantum Vimana.